The current geopolitical issue revolves around the intricate and pressing matter of ammunition supply to Ukraine amidst the ongoing conflict with Russia. This situation has become a focal point of international attention and concern due to its implications for regional stability, global politics, and humanitarian considerations. The conflict in Ukraine began in 2014, escalating dramatically with Russia's invasion in February 2022. This invasion triggered a swift and widespread international response, particularly from Western nations. The United States and the European Union emerged as a key player, pledging military support to Ukraine to resist the Russian advance. The key players involved are Ukraine seeking to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity, Russia engaged in a military campaign against Ukraine with a long history behind, the United States as a primary military supporter of Ukraine providing substantial military aid, the European Union committed to supporting Ukraine though struggling with the logistics and capacity of ammunition supply, and recently Israel and Hamas because their conflict has indirectly impacted the ammunition supply to Ukraine. As late of 2023, Ukraine finds itself in a precarious position regarding ammunition supply, critical for sustaining its defensive and offensive operations. The European Union, despite its commitments, is facing challenges in meeting its ammunition supply targets to Ukraine. The United States, while being the largest arms supplier to Ukraine, is also grappling with its capacity to fulfill the increasing demands, partly due to its commitments on other global conflicts, notably the Israel-Hamas war. The situation has led a reduction in artillery shell deliveries to Ukraine, causing concerns about the sustainability of its military efforts against Russia. The complexity of this situation is further heightened by the involvement of various stakeholders, each with their unique interests and constraints. The geopolitical landscape is marked by a delicate balance of power, resource allocation, and strategic interest, making the ammunition supply issues to Ukraine a critical point of analysis in understanding the broader conflict's dynamics. The situation regarding ammunition supply to Ukraine is complex, involving multiple manufacturers across Europe and challenges related to production capacity, resource allocation, and strategic concerns. Let's review the main manufacturers involved. Nammo from Norway. Nammo is a significant player in the ammunition manufacturing landscape. Concerns has been raised about the European Union's plan to prioritize orders from European Union munition makers, potentially impacting strategy and competition among firms. There is a hesitation from companies like Nammo to share resources with competitors, which could hinder the European Union's plans. From France, we have Nexter. Nexter, a French firm, claims a robust supply chain primarily within France and the European Union. They play a pivotal role in manufacturing, but their capacity is subject to the broader challenges of resource allocation within the European Union. The famous Rheinmetall from Germany has the capacity to produce 450,000 155mm munitions annually. This figure is significant but falls short of Ukraine's needs. The planned acquisition of Spain's Expal could increase Rheinmetall's capacity to 600,000 shells, enhancing its contribution to Ukraine's ammunition supply. Saab from Sweden. Saab has projected an ability to produce 400,000 shells a year by early 2025. This commitment is in line with the European Union's goal to ramp up production, but it also highlights the time-sensitive nature of these manufacturing efforts and the need for rapid adaptation in response to the current crisis. There are some manufacturer challenges. The European Union's border strategy to increase ammunition output, especially 155mm artillery shell for Ukraine, involves significant financial commitments and a strategic shift in production. However, the plans have stirred apprehension among member states and firms due to potential trade secret disclosures and the practical challenges of reallocating resources among competing manufacturers. The challenges in ammunition manufacturing for Ukraine are not just about production capacity, but also involve strategic and competitive concerns about European defense firms. The need for rapid adaptation to meet Ukraine's urgent requirements is clashing with the traditional industry practices and resource allocation strategies. This scenario underscores the complexities in addressing the critical needs of a nation engaged in a significant military conflict. Ukrainian forces are engaged in relentless battle requiring substantial ammunition to maintain their defense and offensive capabilities. Reports indicate that Ukrainian forces are expending several dozen artillery shells daily against Russian forces. This high rate of ammunition use underscores the practical nature of the supply needs for the Ukrainian military. Now let's review some proposed solutions to the ammunition supply challenge. European Union policy reform. The European Union needs to implement policies that ensure more efficient allocation of resources among member states and defense firms. This includes mechanisms for better coordination and sharing of materials and manufacturing capacities. The European Union should establish long-term commitments to defense manufacturing, moving beyond temporary surges in production to sustained efforts that address ongoing and future conflicts. Industry modernization and expansion. Defense companies across Europe need significant investments to modernize their facilities and increase production capacities. Accelerating the building and expansion of new manufacturing facilities can help meet current demands and prepare for future needs. Increased financial support and United States involvement. Increased funding from the European Union and individual member states is essential to support the ramp up in production. This includes financial incentives for companies to prioritize military over commercial production. The United States can play a more significant role by increasing its own production to supplement the European Union efforts. This approach will require congressional support for additional funding to replenish and expand United States ammunition stockpiles dedicated to Ukraine. The effort to simultaneously replenish European stockpiles and supply Ukraine faces several challenges, but two of them are budgetary and procurement constraints. Analysts note that the efforts from budgetary and procurement perspective by allies are not matching the level of demand. There is a need for clearer and more decisive actions from Western political and military leadership to ensure that the ammunition supply is not just a temporary surge, but a sustained effort. Funding shortages in the United States. The Pentagon has warned a funding shortfall with only $1.6 billion remaining of the $25.9 billion allocated by the Congress to replenish United States military stocks sent to Ukraine. This situation indicates the financial strains in the United States in maintaining its support to Ukraine. The situation on the Ukrainian front lines is critically dependent on the steady and sufficient supply of ammunition. The high rate of ammunition usage coupled with dwindling stocks and production challenges highlight the severity of the situation. Ensuring a continuous and adequate supply of ammunition is not only a matter of ramping up production, but also involves navigating complex funding, strategic, and logistical challenges. NATO senior military official Admiral Rob Bauer has highlighted a severe ammunition shortage within European stocks dwindling as the conflict prolongs. The West's military aid to Ukraine, including weapons systems and ammunition, is sourced from already depleted warehouses in Europe. This depletion has exposed the urgent need for ramped up production to meet the high demand for ammunition in the Ukrainian conflict. It is important also to start to think in preventing measures for future crises. Both the European Union and the United States should consider establishing larger strategic reserves of key military supplies, ensuring readiness for future conflicts, strengthening international cooperation in defense manufacturing and logistics can help a more resilient and responsive supply chain. Regularly reviewing and adapting defense policies and manufacturing strategies to current global security situations can help prevent similar shortages in the future. Addressing the ammunition shortage crisis requires a multifaceted approach involving policy reforms, industry modernization, increased financial support, and enhanced international cooperation. Proactive and strategic approach is essential to ensure that similar challenges are effectively managed in the future. In the face of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Talbut Research advocates for an immediate and concerted effort towards a diplomatic resolution. War in any form results in devastating human cost, lives lost in the battlefield in cities, affecting people in Ukraine, Russia, and worldwide. The ammunition supply challenges, while significant, underscore a deeper need for dialogue and peaceful negotiations. We firmly believe that diplomacy must prevail over warfare. Every effort should be directed towards fostering understanding, resolving conflicts peacefully, and prioritizing the welfare and dignity of all individuals affected by this conflict. It is imperative to transition from a narrative of confrontation to one of reconciliation and peace for the sake of humanity.